Hello, lovely people. How are you? How are you? How is your night? How is your day? Is it day? Is it night there where you are? I don't know what time it is, but here it's morning. It's 1. Yeah, so today we are going to draft a dress. We are going to start with pattern drafting. Yum. So we have all the things we need. I think so. Okay, let me check something here, then we can begin. How is everyone? Where are you watching from? Yeah. Okay. Okay, all right, we are here. So I hope my network is good today. Yeah. So we are going to begin with pattern drafting. We have everything we need for drafting our pattern. You're most welcome, everyone. If you're new to this channel, it's called Echo Stitches by Grace, and you can subscribe, hit the notification bell. Yes, you'll be notified when we put up a new video. So always remember to subscribe. Yeah, so I'm going to draft the front and the back differently. Okay, I'm going to draft the front and the back differently. So that's why I have 2 pieces of paper. Yeah, I use these packing papers for pattern drafting. When I buy anything, I don't throw them away. So yeah, I use them. I love recycling, so I also do this for use this. Okay, so we shall begin with our should we begin with our front pattern? Okay, let's begin with our front pattern, and then we shall go to the back. So as always, we make a starting point. I think this should be the back. Now let me use this to the front. Okay, so we are going to make a starting point. I always leave here some inches, like 0.5 or 1 inch. Yeah, roughly 1 inch. So we are going to start with taking our measurements. You need your measurements, vertical measurements, and then horizontal measurements. So we are taking our vertical measurements. First, we are going to take our measurement from the shoulder line to the bust line. My shoulder to bust is 10 inches. Then from the shoulder to under bust, mine is 13. From shoulder to waist, mine is 16. From shoulder to hip, Mine is 25. The rest will be our length. We shall add a bit more, but that will be our length. So we come on this side also and do the same. Take the bust line and the bust, waistline and hip line, the full length. The rest is our full length. So we shall make these lines here. Sorry. What happened? Okay. So we are going to take our neckline. I'll take, excuse me. I'll take a boat neckline in the front and a scoop neckline in the back. Yeah. So I'm going to take a neckline of, let's say, 5 inches. Yeah, I'll take 5 inches and I'll come down by 2 inches. So I want a boat neckline. A boat neckline is not so deep, okay? Yeah. So I'll come again here and take my shoulder measurement, divide by 2. Let me mark these lines first. This is a shoulder line. This is a bust line. This is under bust line. This is waistline. This is hip line. And the rest is our length. So I've already taken the shoulder divide by 2, and I'll come here and also take the shoulder divide by 2. I want just to coordinate this line to this line. Okay, so I'll come up by 2 inches, and after coming up I'll take a chest line. The chest line is 2 inches above the bust line. So this is our chest line. Okay. So I'm going to come here on my shoulder line and come down by 1 inch and make what we call a shoulder slope. So after doing that, I'm going to connect this to here. So you must make sure here is 7.5 like up. So I'll also put this. Okay, that's our front neckline. So I'm going to come on this line and divide whatever I have here by 2 and get that point and mark it. Come in by 0.5 and then get my bust measurement. This is a chest line, but I'm going to use my bust measurement. I'm going to get my bust measurement, divide by 4 plus 1 inch. So my bust measurement divided by 4 is 9.5 plus 1 inch, which makes it 10.5. So I'm going to join this point to this point to this point. Okay. So I'll get this, my curved rule. You can use a free hand and you can also use a curved rule. So it's up to you and what you want. Do whatever works for you. Okay. So I'm going to come on my bust line and take my bust measurement and take my nipple to nipple measurement, divide by 2. So I'm coming here, my nipple to nipple measurement is 7, divide by 2 is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So I'll take 3.5 on all these lines. This is my nipple to nipple measurement, divide by 2. Okay, so I'm going to get this rule and just connect these lines. I think this marker is not working very well, so I'll change it. I'll just connect down. Okay, so I'm going to take a dart of 1.5 inches, which means I'm going to divide that dart by 2. Okay, so I'm going to use 0.75 on one side and 0.75 on the other side. So I'll connect this line, that to 1 inch below the chest, below the bust line. Okay. I'll take this dart up to the hip line. You can put it 2 inches above the hip line. Yeah, but today I'll make it different. I'll take it to the hip line. Okay, so most times I put it 2 inches above the hip line. So when I come, I'm going to take now my measurements, horizontal measurements. I said my bust, I'm dividing my bust by 4 plus 1 inch, which makes it 10.5. I come here I'll not take my under bust measurement. I'll take my waist measurement, 8.5. Waist divide by 4, 8.5 plus 1.5 inch. This 1.5 inch is this one. Okay, don't get confused. Plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I just replaced this dart here and added 1 inch for sewing allowance. My network has issues. So I'm going to come on my hip measurement, hip line, and take my hip measurement, divide by 4 plus 1 inch. My hip measurement is 11.25 plus 1 inch, which makes it 12.25. So I'll come down here and take the same measurement as I took for the hip. So when it comes to down here, the same measurement I used for the hip is the same measurement I'm using here. So it will be 12.25. Ish. Wait. Sorry, this line is not here. There is this allowance, so it has to be indicated and bring it down here. So this is my front pattern. Let me first cut it out. I'll come back later. I'm not done with it, but let's draft the back, then we shall see how we are going to do it. I always add 0.5 inches here for joining the shoulder line. I most times use my eyes to measure it. I measure it with my eyes. So if you trust your eyes enough, you can measure with your eyes. If not, get a measuring tape and measure. 0.5. So this is our front pattern. I'm not yet done with it. I'm going to come back to it and finish it. But before that, let's do our back, then we shall come back to the front pattern. Okay, so we are doing the same thing first, like we did on the front pattern. Let me take from this side. So my dear, if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell. Yeah, you'll be notified when I put up a new video or when I go live. Yes, I use sewing tutorials here, pattern drafting, sewing, everything about sewing. So this is our bust line, our under bust, our waist, our hip. We do the same this side. Bust, under bust, waist, hip. I don't know what's happening to the markers today. So for the back pattern, before we do anything, I'm going to take away 2 inches. This ruler is 2 inches. This will cater for the zipper allowance. So first I'm taking away the 2 inches. I'll not use it all, but let's take it away. Okay. So for the back, we are going to use a neckline of, we said we want a scoop neckline. Yeah, so on this pattern, let's see, I'll just use this pattern to measure where my neckline will be. So okay, so for the scoop neckline, it's going to be a little bit deeper in the back. So we shall use in the back, let's use 5 inches. Yeah, 5 inches, I think it will be deep enough. Or 6 inches. Can use 5 or 6. Let's use 6. Okay. So we are going to get this our rule and make a neckline. Yes. Okay. So that will be our neckline. For the back, we are going to come up by 2 inches from, let's first measure the 7.5 inches. The 7.5 inches is our shoulder divided by 2. Then we shall come up by 2 inches to make a chest line as usual as we did the first pattern. Then we are going to come up here and connect this line like this. So we are going to also get the midpoint of this and divide it by 2. So from here we are just going to come like this. And before even that, let me measure my bust. Divide by 4 plus 1 inch, 10.5. So we are going to connect this line to here. Just we don't go in like in the front pattern. Yeah, that's it. So another thing we are going to do, we are going to get the nipple to nipple measurement. 3.5 divide by 2, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Then we shall make a line as we did in the first place. So in the back we shall take a dart of, you can take 1 inch, you can take to 1.5 inch. So let's take 1 inch. Let me take 1.5 inch again in the back. Okay, so most times take as a dart of 1 inch in the back. It's enough most times, but I just took this for 1.5. Yeah, but 1 inch in the back is enough. It's the standard. Yeah. So I'm going to connect it to the bust line. For the back, we don't come up by, we don't come down by 1 inch on the bust measurement. We just make the dart to the bust line. Okay, so now we are going to take our measurements. Waist divide by waist divide by waist divide by 4 plus 1 inch plus 1.5 inches plus 1 inch. 1.5 inches is this. Then plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Bust plus divide by 4 plus 1 inch, and hip line divide by 4 plus 1 inch. Hip divide by 4 plus 1 inch, 12.5. So we shall connect like this and like this, then down, yeah, straight. So we are going to come and make our zip allowance. We shall come here by 1 inch. We come on the waistline by 0.5 inches, and we come on the hip line by 1.5 inches. Then here we shall go back on the we shall go back to 1 inch, and down it will be 1 inch. So if you don't know how to sew on a small sewing allowance, make here 1.5, here 1 inch, here 1.5, and then down 1 inch. If you don't know how to use a small sewing allowance to sew the zipper. But if you can use a small sewing allowance, 0.5 is okay here, 1.5, and here 1 inch. Okay, I hope you got me. Oh. So I'm going to split this pattern on the waistline here. This is the waistline. I'm splitting this pattern. Okay, and I'm going to come here on this line here, and I'm going to come here on this line and take away some what, and take away some, maybe 1 inch. 1 inch or 1.5 inch to avoid gapping. Okay, so I'm going to come on this line and make a line to the neckline. So just straighten up this line here, and I'll take 1 inch here on this line. So I'll just take it from this here like this, and take it back here. And you have to make sure that the line here and here, it's the same length. Okay, so this is 4.75, and this is what, this line will go a bit up just to coordinate. So this is the new neckline. This is the new neckline. This one is just to avoid gapping in the back. Okay, this line is just to avoid gapping in the back. So another thing we are going to do, we are going to eliminate the zip allowance on this waist. So what we are going to do is we are going to come on the waist and take whatever measurement we put here on the dart is what we are going to use. So above the waist is we are going to reduce 0.75, and below the waist we are going to reduce also 0.75 to make it 1.5. So I'll come here and mark 0.75, and come here and mark 0.75. Then I'll come and connect these lines to here, and this line to here. So it will be like this. It will be like this when I'm cutting. And another thing I will have to do, I'll have to change this dart. I'm going to make this line straight and relocate the dart a little bit just to make it straight, and it will easier to sew. So I'm just taking this dart to another position, and I'll use this same marks I marked to connect the dart. So, and this also. So when I'm cutting from here, we use the red line. Okay. So this is our back pattern, probably. So another thing we have to do, you can decide to eliminate this dart completely after doing this, or you can leave and cut it as a separate pattern. So for me, I'll cut it separate, the front and the back. I mean This upper part, I'm going to cut it separate from the down part. Okay, so I'll so if we had not split here, we would cut it as one, but we split here. I'll sew it differently. I said I leave 0.5 inches here, so I add in the 0.5 and I'll just cut this out. You can sew it as a dart, cut it together and sew it as a dart, but I think cutting it out would be better. Shall cut this also. Okay, so that's our back, and this is our back also. So I told you we are not done yet. So what we are going to do, we are going to take this. Let me first remove this. I'm going to come here on my hip line and measure how much I have on the hip line. I have 12 inches. 12 inches indicates with the sewing allowance inclusive. So I'll leave the sewing allowance out. Like let's leave out 0.5 inches out and divide the rest. So I need to divide this into equal parts. This is 12 divided by, let's take 12 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 is what? 4. Uh, 12 divided by 3 is 4. 12 divided by 2 by 12 divided by 3 is 4. Should I make 4? Okay, let's make 12 divided by 3 is, let's say 12 divided by 4 is 3. So let's take 3 inches. So I'll take a line down of let's take a line from the hip line of around 5 inches. Yeah, let me take 5 inches down. Inches down. This I've just estimated, it's not a standard. Yeah, I just thought. So I'm going to make lines. I'm going to make lines going down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to create something like V. Okay. This is supposed to, how am I supposed to fix this one? Oh my God, it's on the wrong side. So this is the hip line. Let me mark it here. The hip line. Okay. So this pattern is supposed to continue like this up to where we stop. So I'm going to come and cut this out. Okay, so you can make this shape, or you can, it depends on what you want. You can also make it in this kind of shape. It's not that it has to be straight like it is here. You can either make it like that, or you can also make it like this. You can also make it in this shape if that's what you want. Okay, so whatever you want, you can do whatever you want with it. So this is our front pattern, and I think we shall use this to do our back. The same to do our back. We shall not do on the back because I thought it could match up like this to complete it, but it will not be able to do that. I hope whatever we plan is the right thing. Okay, so this is what we are going to use to cut our front, and this is what we are going to use to cut our back. You can just place this here. Okay. So this is on the hip line. After the hip line, okay, this was the hip line. Yeah. You can just bring this and trace out. How you're supposed to cut the back. Yeah, no stressing. Okay, I'll just do that. This is zip allowance, okay? So we shall cut this. This is off. So this is our back pattern and this is our front pattern. But what we are going to do, we are going to get a piece of paper and measure how long we want our. Let me get a piece of paper here. So I'm going to use this. So we are taking it that all these, what is this? These spaces are equal. They are equal because we've taken the same measurement. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to determine how long I want my dress to be. My dress to be so from the hip line, I'll take it by, let me just measure myself here. You measure how long you want your dress to be. So I want it to be long from my hip line to be long like so. If you want to make it long up to the foot, it's up to you. So I'll take 18 inches from my hip line. I'll use 18 inches. Okay, 18 inches from my hip line. So I'm going to divide this by 2. You can make it as wide as you want. Okay, so this is 13 inches. 13 inches divided by 2 is 7.5. Yeah? No, 6.5. My math is not mathing. So this is the center point. I'm going to bring this one of this and place it here. Okay, so I'll take it to one corner. And take this one also to another corner. Okay, so I've got this triangle. It's called what triangle? I don't know. Right angle triangle. So this paper, I'm going to insert it in the, I'm going to insert it inside of that. But before that, you can make it as wide as you want. You can make this wider than this, okay? Depending on how you want your dress to play. If you want it so wide down, you can make it wide. So this is supposed to come and sit in here, but it is supposed to be bigger than this, okay? So it's supposed to be bigger than this, because when you place it here, you see this is bigger, okay? So we are going to widen this. I cut it like this because the paper was small. So I'll cut it in between and spread it as I want. So I'm going to spread it the way I want it to be. So if you want it so wide, you can spread it more than, not even more. You can spread it whichever way you want. I hope you get me. So you must calculate how many of these you need to fit your dress. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the back you need how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 8, maybe, I think maybe 8. If it's more than 8, then we shall know together. So we are going to get this and cut. We shall cut 10. If there is extra, then it's okay. So I want to get the sample of what I'm going to use. So you can spread this like this. Yeah, you can spread it as wide as you want. So I just put it in a corner so that I can spread it too wide. And make sure after spreading, where is the what I need? After spreading, this you're going to insert has to be wider than whatever you're going to insert, has to be wider than this, okay? It shouldn't be smaller, it should be wider. So when we place this here, you can see that this is wider. So we are going to use that. This is what we are going to use. If we had more space, we could even widen it up. It depends on how much fabric you have, because this is all fabric. If you don't have much fabric, you can stretch it as like just to fit the pattern. If not, you can make it whichever way you want. So we are going to add some allowance down, because even inserting it we need some sewing allowance. Okay, so we are going to add allowance down here so that it will be enough to cover for up here, and we get some space. So whatever allowance we need, we shall put it down. We shall include it down. So just bring your, I'm using this marker. So this sample will work for the rest. I'll not need to again use pattern. There is the red marker. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, maybe by, let's take it, say by 3 inches. I'll just use my free hand. Pull, do this. If you just don't trust your hand, measure. Take measurements. Take measurements. If you don't trust your hand, take measurements. I don't trust mine as well, but yeah, it's not very far from the truth sometimes, most times. So this is what we are going to use as our template, or what, sample. It is what you are going to use to cut all the rest. So already this has 2 pieces. So just place this again on this and cut. So now these are 4 pieces. We are going to add some, like how many? I said we shall make 10. If we need less, we shall keep that 2. If we need more, we shall cut some more, because I calculated 8, but I think it's more than 8. I just think might be more than 8. So yeah, there is no loss in cutting extra 2, because the fabric is not expensive. You can see it all. So Okay, we have the 8 already. We are just adding the extra 2. Okay. Okay. We have the pieces now, the 10 pieces. So we are going to cut, now we are going to cut the front. I'm going to cut this with the lining. So I'll cut 2 pieces. I'm cutting this with the lining, so yeah. Okay. So we are cutting the front part on fold. Okay. So when it comes to the middle here, you can leave in 0.5 sewing allowance. You can come and cut in a 0.5 sewing allowance. Okay. So we are going to cut another part like this one. I need a lining piece. This dress I'm going to make a lining with it. Don't know if this will be enough. will not work. So let's cut. Let's use this cut back pattern. Which is which? Which is which? I need lining pieces. That's why I'm placing these together so that I can get the lining pieces. So we have a sewing allowance on this part, but as I told you, add the sewing allowance you will sew out, especially on this part, because remember we snatched it a bit, so it has to remain the same as it was on the pattern. So we are not adding sewing allowance here because we already did. We're just cutting it straight. Okay. We are not also adding sewing allowance this side. Now we are done with the down pieces of the back. So remember, we wanted to cut the front, the lining of the front. So we shall just flip it like this. And cut. You cannot see, but I'm seeing where I'm going to cut. So this is just the lining piece. Yeah, the lining piece of the front. Those inserts, panels you are going to insert, we are not going to, those goddets, we are not going to make lining for them. It's okay, they will just be like that. But for this, we need to make a lining. Wait, I need to remove a piece here. This wasn't fully open, sorry. So it's just repeating the same thing. Yeah, there is nothing different. So we are going to cut the upper front pieces and then we shall be done. So for the upper front pieces, we have these two. Let me see if in this way you can get. So not much fabric for this. I'll just cut this and arrange it and make sure this plastic bag has no straight grain or cross grain, so all the sides are the same. Okay, so all the sides are the same, so even if you don't check, but if you're using real fabric, you have to know which side to cut with on. So since this is plastic bag, it really doesn't matter which grain you will use, or use cross grain or straight grain. It's all the same. So this is the upper, but let me mark it. This is the neckline. This is the neckline. So when we are cutting a neckline, I am not adding allowance in it, but on the down part, I'm adding a very small allowance. So in the center, we are adding a 0.5 sewing allowance, because we did not add allowance for the center. Okay. So we have also the lining pieces included there. So down we'll also add a 0.5 sewing allowance, as we did on the other part, and in the middle we add a 0.5 sewing allowance. If you don't know how to use 0.5 as sewing allowance, use 1 inch. Yeah, if you have not mastered how to use 0.5, please leave 1 inch as sewing allowance. Okay. So this side we don't need sewing allowance. Remember, we already included it in the pattern. So we just cut straight. Okay. So it looks like we are done with the cutting. I put an arrow here to indicate the upper part. So we have the front. This is the back. You can decide to cut out this as well. Yeah, you can decide to cut out this dart as well, or sew it. So whatever works for you. If you want to sew it, you can sew it. If you want to cut it out, you can cut it out. So I'm just going to cut like this, but not so. When now I want to make a dart, I'll just join 0.5 inch from one side and 0.5 inch from one side. So that's our back pattern, and this is our front pattern. You must make sure they are in alignment because they must align. And now this. So for these pieces, we don't need a lining. Yeah, we don't need lining for this. We are just going to make a lining for the upper part. So I'll stop there today. Tomorrow we shall sew. Yeah, but for today, that's it for today. We've cut everything. So tomorrow we shall be here sewing, putting a zipper, and finishing our dress. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for always coming to watch these tutorials. I don't take it for granted. Yeah, I don't take it for granted. So thank you. Have a blessed night. And please, before you even have a blessed night, subscribe, please. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when we put up a new video. You'll be notified. So thank you for watching. I have to rest too. So that's it for today. Yes. Have a good night. Please subscribe. Goodbye.